Alrighty boys, welcome back to another step-by-step video. Now today's video is going to be on Ace. Now the important thing that I wanted to talk about today, guys, is that I want to talk about the concept when it comes to Ace. Now a lot of people consider Ace to be like a weird like support, like fragger type of operator, or a lot of people just look at him as like a straight up support. However, I do feel like that Ace is probably more of a fragger, more so than he is like a support, in my opinion. He just has that ability to be able to open up the walls and do stuff like that, but in reality he has a lot of different opportunity to get himself a lot of free kills. Now I think one of the big reasons why a lot of people will look at Ace as being more of like a support operator is because a lot of the times when people play Ace, they're going to be having the fuser in hand, because obviously when you pick a hard breacher and there's no other hard breacher on like the board with the rest of your team, then usually you yourself, if you are playing the hard breacher, is going to get to the diffuser, right? So when that happens, right, a lot of people tend to think like, oh, this guy has a diffuser, he's playing Ace, oh, this is support, you know what I mean, like he's going to be the planter, that type of thing, right? That's what a lot of people do, you know. And you know, one thing I will say is like, I'm very happy that with this game, like, there is a world where people run around with like Ace as like Ashe, you know what I mean, like how people auto pick Ashe. There is a world where people run around and pick Ace like how they do Ashe, where they just like run in with Ace instead of running in with Ashe, you know what I mean? And I feel like that would be like a really unfortunate world. By the way, in this round right here, we're going to be in a 2v5 position. One of my teammates, my Thatcher, is going to get a kill. I'm going to go ahead and swing around for piano here, get myself another easy kill here. And all I'm doing here is I'm trying to pick out like a couple picks here, because we are in a losing position here because we're down on numbers. So we have to get aggressive. We're going to have to look for picks. So I kill one on the piano double door, and then I'm going to, after I open up the wall with my Thatcher, I'm going to peek towards half wall. And that little half wall angle that I just used right there is actually a really common good angle for killing anybody on half wall, because a lot of people when they play on half wall, they're gonna panic and they're gonna peek that exact angle that I challenge right there, so you're gonna get yourself a very easy kill. Now right here, since we're in a 2v2 position, this is actually a good enough position to go for a plant. However, when you walk in for default, you should always look towards bathroom in that position, because there's a very high chance somebody will peek you from bathroom. Now once the plant goes down, it's basically cleanup duty at this point. Now what I'm telling my Thatcher in this position is that he should just play his life, because if my Thatcher dies and then I die, like, if my Thatcher dies in this position, it's actually very easy for Castle to kill me in this position. However, the one thing that Castle's going to make a mistake of doing in this position is that he's going to try to rotate towards Mez and then try to rotate back into Office. However, since he rotated to the double door for piano, I'm actually able to walk through Office in that position, because I'm basically playing like Ring Around the Rosie with him, if that makes sense. And that basically allows me to rotate to the desk by the K9 door to basically put myself in an off position where he wouldn't expect me if he comes back around, or even if he pushes my Thatcher, I'm in an off angle position now, so he's not gonna know how to take that gunfight with me from that point onwards unless they have cameras on me. The next time we're gonna be over on Clubhouse here. Now this map is a little bit different. Now it's kind of weird how I play this map. So this is a clip from back in the day. So this is another way that you guys can attack this bomb site. This isn't my favorite way of doing it, but I do think it does have a world where it works. So the idea that we're going to be going for is that we have Thermite, we have Ace. Thermite opened up the cash side push. I'm going to go ahead and open up Jacuzzi. I'm going to use all of my Ace charges here, and then I'm going to go ahead and get on drone right away. And the idea that I'm looking for is that I'm looking to swing aggressively for bathroom. Right there, if you noticed, on my drone, I saw that there was a guy playing in bathroom next to the reinforced wall. So I'm just going to go ahead and swing aggressively and get myself an easy kill on this castle. Now, the one thing, if you notice right there, is that my aim was kind of stuck, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't able to, like, kill that guy, like, as efficiently as I wanted to in that position, even though I knew he was there. And you're going to see later on in this clip, I'm actually going to do something kind of interesting. But long story short, we're going to swing around to bathroom, rotate again. We're going to get back on a drone. We're going to end up seeing Malusi charging through bedroom. So we're going to swing aggressively to get a free kill onto him. And then we're in a 3v2 position. Now, normally this type of position will be winning. However, what is going to end up happening is I'm going to go ahead and start switching up my sensitivity. You probably shouldn't be doing this mid-game. And just so you guys are aware, that's not my actual sensitivity that I currently am using. If you want to know my sensitivity, it's down in the description. But when I did that, I actually, the last guy to smoke, he ran up main to kill my Dokubi, and then he swung around the bathroom right away. My teammates were panic calling me, so that's why I knew he was coming up behind me to look for the refrag, so that's why I was able to just 180 and pre-fire him and get myself an easy kill. Now next up we're going to be over on Outback here. Now I wanted to show you guys this little fancy angle that you guys can do on Outback for when you're attacking the party bomb site. And now a lot of people like to leave this wall soft for garage here, and so you can actually peek over the top of the lockers for garage to kill anybody coming in and out of office and bull, right? So you can kill anybody that comes in and out of that wall, basically, or anyone that comes in and out of that door. And then the idea that you're looking for here is that since I killed that guy, I'm going to go ahead and just keep playing aggressively for this doorway and just cut off that doorway completely from garage. Now technically, if they reinforce the right side of the wall from my perspective, I technically wouldn't have been able to hold the doorway like that. However, I still would have been able to just play outside on the little like hop-up angle that I was on to deny that doorway. So the same thing kind of applies. However, since they didn't reinforce that wall, it's actually better for me to jump into garage to take space. And typically in this game, it's almost always going to be better to take space rather than try to do like a cutoff, in my opinion. Like typically it's going to be better to take space, because when you take space, it like pretty much prevents the team from like retaking that space in the first place. Now the only time I would say this is like a bad habit, like to like take space, is like when you like drone, and then you like walk in and then you just die immediately because somebody was like ratting that you misdroned, or like they just ran in while your drone was going through. So I highly recommend only drone like a 1 or 2 rooms ahead of you, and then just to make sure that there's no play for somebody to just run past your drone and make a play. So like right here, I can walk into east because my gridlocked east. I droned all the way up to office double. I didn't see anybody, so I'm able to just walk in for east in this position to take control of that. And then also as well here, security was clear as well. Nobody was in office double, but the first thing that I looked at when I walked into east stairs was office double, so that's how you want to do it when you're taking space, okay? Now right here, ideally I'd want to get open the wall in this position. However, my Thatcher did die, so the only other person that can really help me in this position is my Ash to go ahead and get the wall for me by shooting it from the doorway, which is what he does, which is fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and ace charge open the wall for Archives here. Now this is going to set us up for a nice little default plant. Now the only problem about this is that we're in a 3v5 position, so it's probably better to actually play for a couple of picks in this type of position instead of actually going to try to just go for a plant right away. Now luckily my teammates are going to go ahead and get a bunch of picks in this position, so I'm going to be able to just walk into Archives right away to go ahead and get a plant down on the Archives bomb. Now the unfortunate part here is that since I left 90 in that position, they actually had a flank through metal to actually flank us for Archives in this position. And so what I'm going to do is actually going to do a rat play where I tuck myself by the office window, and then I just wait for a little bit of audio of Capcan walking in, and then I swing him aggressively to get myself an easy kill. Last guy's going to also be pushing through metal /90, because like I said, since I was on 90 and I gave up that space, it's very likely that the play that the enemy team can do for the gap in that position is going to be to push through 90 and try to hit a flank on us, and which is exactly what they do. So we end up getting ourselves a free kill on both the Legion and the Capcan, because we're able to predict that, we're able to read that situation to make that decision in our brain that that's what the enemy team is going to be doing, and that's how I should respond to that situation. Next up, we're going to be over on Oregon. Now, it's really important to understand that on Oregon that you want to put your claymores down for the runouts over by White, Small Tower, and White Window. And the idea with that is that you're just trying to prevent the enemy team from having many options when it comes to the runouts. Now, they do technically could still run out from the doorway for Small Tower. However, there is a world where people don't expect you to put a claymore there, and you do end up getting yourself a free kill, so you might as well do it, you know what I mean? Like, there's not really that many other good places to put claymores on this map, so you might as well. Now, right here, we're going to see that the enemy team is running a armory setup, but it's kind of hard to actually kill the guy inside of armory in this position. So what I'm actually going to do is, before I start contesting for that guy, I'm going to go ahead and open up the main wall. This actually might be a mistake. The reason why it could be a mistake is that we're just opening up a triple cross. So if the enemy team chills, they probably would just have like full advantage on us in this position. However, they do get baited out once we do open up the wall, and they do start aggressively challenging. I kill one guy in attic, which causes the castle to look for the refrag, and then he ends up selling his body. I actually end up injuring him in this position. So we're going to go ahead and now look to walk in so we can go ahead and finish that kill. However, in this moment, I actually expected somebody to be trying to bait the castle here by sitting on main. So I go ahead and swing for main first to get myself an easy kill on Oryx that was looking for the easy refrag onto me. And basically that secures the round right there, because now we're in a nice 3v1 position. What's going to end up happening is my guy inside of attic, he's going to rotate through the kid to rotate. He's going to swing the last guy who's going to be on white in this position to get the last kill and secure the round. All I'm doing right here is just being bait. But hope you guys enjoyed, and please make sure to like and subscribe in today's step-by-step.